Let's get one thing straight. Most men fail with women because they don't know how to give her space the right way. They either smother her with attention, making her feel trapped, or they disappear completely, making her lose interest. But what if I told you that giving her space is an art, one that, when mastered, makes her chase you instead? This isn't about ignoring her to play mind games. No, this is deeper than that. This is dark psychology in action. It's about understanding how absence creates value, how distance breeds desire, and how your lack of availability can make her crave you more than ever. You see, the average guy thinks that if he just showers a woman with love, attention, and validation, she'll stick around. But that's not how attraction works. Women are drawn to men who remain a mystery, who don't hand over their presence so easily. And when you give her space the right way, you activate something powerful in her mind, the fear of losing you. That's when she starts second-guessing, craving your attention, and wondering what you're up to. But here's the problem. Most men get this all wrong. They either ghost her entirely, which kills attraction, or they hover like a lost puppy, which makes her feel suffocated. Both extremes lead to failure. In this video, I'm breaking down the art and dark psychology behind giving her space. I'll show you how to do it strategically, not to manipulate, but to build real attraction and keep her invested. If you've ever struggled with a woman pulling away, this will change the game for you. Let's dive in. Before we start, I've created a community on Podia where I break down everything you need to know, step by step. You'll get no-nonsense, practical advice that will boost your confidence and help you build stronger, more meaningful connections. And the best part? The first 20 people who join will get an exclusive discount. So don't hesitate. Click the link in the description to grab your spot. If you know someone who could use this, share it with them. 1. Space makes her see your value. When you give a woman space, something interesting happens. She starts questioning what you really mean to her. A man who is always available becomes predictable, and predictability kills excitement. But when you step back, she's forced to evaluate your presence in her life. She wonders why you're not around as much, and that uncertainty makes her think about you more. Women don't chase what's always there. They chase what they feel they could lose. The moment she senses that you're not as accessible as before, her mind begins working against her. Instead of assuming you're just busy, she starts questioning whether she took you for granted. That's when the emotional shift happens. She starts to miss you, and more importantly, she starts to realize your value. Most men ruin this by panicking. The second they feel a woman pulling away, they rush to close the gap. They double text, call just to check in, or try to spark conversations out of thin air. But what they don't understand is that giving her space is part of the test. Women subconsciously do this to see how secure a man is. If you can't handle distance without losing control, you fail. But if you hold your ground, you become more attractive without even trying. A man who respects himself doesn't beg for attention. He's too focused on his purpose, his mission, and his own growth. That's the kind of man a woman wants to chase, the one she has to work to keep. When she realizes that your presence was a privilege, not a guarantee, she starts craving it again. Think about a song you hear on the radio every day. At first you like it, but after a while, it just becomes background noise. Now imagine that song disappears for weeks. The next time you hear it, it feels fresh, exciting, because you had time to miss it. That's the effect space has on attraction. This is why men who are too available lose their appeal. A woman should always feel like she's earning your time, not like she has unlimited access to you. When you give her space, she starts to associate your presence with something rare and valuable. She reflects on how you made her feel, the energy you brought, and whether she wants that back in her life. The key is confidence. You're not pulling away to manipulate her. You're stepping back because you know your worth. And when you do that, she won't just notice your absence, she'll feel it. And once she feels it, she'll start chasing you. 2. Why giving space triggers attraction. The biggest mistake most men make is thinking that constant attention builds attraction. It doesn't. If anything, it destroys it. Women are wired to desire what feels just out of reach. The second something is always available, it loses its spark. But when you pull back, something shifts. Her interest skyrockets. Attraction isn't logical. It's emotional. A woman doesn't sit down and decide to like you more just because you're good to her. Her feelings are shaped by uncertainty, anticipation, and desire. When you're always around, there's no uncertainty. She never has to wonder about you because you're just there. But the moment you step back, her mind starts racing. She starts to think about why you aren't texting as much. She notices your absence. She starts to miss the way you made her feel. And that's when her emotions pull her back in. The less available you are, the more she values your presence when you do show up. Most guys don't realize this because they see attraction as something they have to work for, something that requires constant effort. They text nonstop, they always initiate plans, and they try to prove themselves. But here's the harsh truth. You don't prove your value by chasing. You prove it by being missed. Imagine a luxury car. It doesn't need flashy ads or aggressive sales tactics. It's valuable because it's rare, because not everyone can have it. That's the energy you need to bring into your interactions. A woman should feel like she's earning your time, not like she's entitled to it. Now, this doesn't mean ghosting her or playing childish games. It means maintaining your own life, your own goals, and your own sense of purpose. A woman is most attracted when she feels like she has to compete for your attention, not against other women, but against your ambition, your drive, and your self-discipline. If you're always available, she never gets the chance to crave you. But the moment she feels even a little bit of distance, her attraction spikes. She starts to think about you more, text you first, and put in effort to bring you closer. Men who understand this never have to chase. They don't need to beg for attention or prove their worth. They let space do the work for them. And when you do it right, she won't just want you, she'll be drawn to you. 3. The scarcity effect. People always want what they think they can't have. It's human nature. The more accessible something is, the less valuable it feels. And when it comes to attraction, this psychological trigger works the same way. If a woman feels like she has unlimited access to you, her desire fades. But the second she senses even a little bit of scarcity, her interest spikes. Think about it. When something is always around, you stop appreciating it. It becomes routine, expected, almost invisible. But when it's taken away, suddenly, you realize how much you miss it. This is exactly why men who are constantly available lose their appeal. They make the mistake of thinking that being present 24/7 will make her like them more, when in reality, it does the opposite. A woman needs to feel like your time is limited and that she has to earn your presence. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding the natural flow of attraction. Women don't respect what comes too easily. If she knows she can have you anytime, where's the excitement? Where's the thrill? The moment she feels like your attention is guaranteed, she stops valuing it. This is why the men who don't overgive always hold the strongest position. They don't flood her with texts, they don't chase, and they don't act desperate for validation. Instead, they let her feel the natural consequences of scarcity. She starts to wonder where you are, what you're doing, and why you're not constantly seeking her out. And that's when her mind starts to work against her, pulling her closer, making her more invested. The reality is, women are drawn to men who have something going on in their lives. When you're too available, it signals that you don't have much else happening. But when she senses that your time is valuable, that you're not just sitting around waiting for her, that's when her attraction deepens. Men who understand this never need to force attraction. They don't have to beg for attention or prove their worth. They simply exist in a way that makes women crave their presence. Scarcity isn't about ignoring her or being distant just for the sake of it. It's about having a life so full and meaningful that she naturally has to fit into it instead of being the center of it. This is the difference between men women desire and men they tolerate. The less available you are, the more valuable you become, And once she realizes that your time isn't guaranteed, that's when she truly starts to want it. 4. Silence versus ignoring. Most men don't understand the difference between giving her space and completely ignoring her. And that's why they fail. When you get this wrong, you either push her away completely or make her lose interest. But when you understand the power of controlled silence, you make her want you more than ever. Silence is strategic. It creates tension, builds mystery, and makes her crave your presence. But ignoring? That makes her feel unwanted and undervalued. A woman doesn't chase a man who makes her feel invisible. She detaches from him. The key difference is intention. Silence is about giving her space to miss you while still maintaining emotional control. Ignoring, on the other hand, is about shutting her out completely, making her question her worth, and turning your absence into a rejection instead of an opportunity for her to chase. Here's the problem. Most guys either overdo it or get it completely wrong. Some men never give her space. They flood her with messages, call constantly, and make sure she never has a moment to wonder about them. They think consistency equals attraction, but in reality, it makes them predictable, and predictability kills excitement. Other men go too far the other way. They think disappearing completely will make her chase, so they ignore her texts, refuse to acknowledge her, and act like she doesn't exist. But instead of making her crave them, it makes her feel rejected. And rejection doesn't always trigger attraction. Sometimes, it just makes her walk away. So how do you find the balance? You pull back just enough for her to notice your absence, but not so much that she feels abandoned. If she reaches out, you respond, but on your own terms. You let her feel the difference between having your attention and earning it. That's how you make her chase. Silence should create curiosity, not resentment. If she starts wondering what you're up to, if she checks her phone more often, if she starts putting in effort, that's when you know it's working. But if she feels completely dismissed, she'll stop caring altogether. The goal isn't to make her suffer. It's to make her realize your value. Women are drawn to men who don't give themselves away easily. The moment she feels like she has your attention no matter what, she stops wanting it. So don't ignore her. Use silence to pull her in, not push her away. 5. When to pull away. A man who understands when to pull away controls the entire dynamic of attraction. Most men get this wrong. They either hold on too tight, suffocating the connection, or they pull away at the wrong time, making the woman feel nothing when they leave. But when done at the right moment, pulling away shifts the power completely. It forces her to feel your absence, question her own feelings, and decide if she's willing to chase. Pulling away isn't about mind games or manipulation. It's about recognizing when your presence is no longer being appreciated and making her feel the difference. Women don't respond to words the way men do. They respond to emotional shifts. When a man suddenly becomes less available, it creates space for her to miss him. And missing you is the first step to wanting you more. The biggest mistake men make is waiting too long to step back. They keep investing in a woman who is already emotionally checked out, hoping that by showing more love, giving more attention, or proving their worth, she will snap out of it. But that's not how attraction works. When a woman starts feeling too secure in your presence, when she feels like you will always be there no matter how she acts, her excitement begins to fade. A man who understands timing knows exactly when to shift his energy. If she starts showing less interest, if she stops initiating, if she's no longer as engaged in conversations, this is the moment to step back, not step forward. The absence of your attention should make her reevaluate your value in her life. She should feel the shift and start to wonder what changed. That curiosity, that slight discomfort of not having you readily available, is what makes her attraction reignite. A perfect example of this happens all the time. A man meets a woman, and things start out great. She's excited, engaged, constantly reaching out. But over time, she starts responding slower, acting more distant. Most men panic and start chasing harder, bombarding her with attention. But the man who understands attraction does the opposite. He steps back. He focuses on himself, becomes less available, and lets her sit with the feeling of missing him. And just like that, her behavior shifts. She starts reaching out more, showing more interest, because she suddenly feels what it's like to not have him easily available. This isn't manipulation. It's the natural cycle of attraction. When you step back at the right time, she either realizes your value or she was never truly interested in the first place. 6. What to do while she's away. Most men completely mess this up. The second a woman asks for space or starts acting distant, they pause their entire life, waiting for her to come back. They check their phones obsessively, overanalyze her last message, and sit around hoping she suddenly realizes how much she misses them. But here's the truth. Waiting is the worst thing you can do. Women don't chase men who make them the center of their world. They chase men who are so focused on their own lives that they don't have time to sit around waiting for validation. If a woman pulls away and you start acting desperate, texting more, checking up on her, or trying to prove your worth, you're doing nothing but lowering your value in her eyes. Attraction isn't built through words, it's built through perception. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who seems lost without her. A lot of men need to wake up and realize that a woman's interest is never secured. It's maintained. The moment you become predictable, the moment you start orbiting around her like a lost puppy, she will lose respect for you. A man who respects himself doesn't sit around waiting for a woman to decide if she wants him. He keeps moving forward. He focuses on his purpose, levels up, and becomes so immersed in his own world that she feels the shift. This is what most men don't get. Women are drawn to progress. If she comes back and finds you in the exact same place, still waiting, still checking in, still hoping, she won't feel any excitement. But if she comes back and sees that you've been busy leveling up, improving yourself, and thriving without her, that's when she starts questioning her own choices. You need to use this time strategically. Hit the gym, work on your finances, build your social circle. Do anything that adds value to your life. The worst thing you can do is sit in emotional limbo, hoping she throws you a breadcrumb of attention. You are not a backup plan. You are not someone's second choice. The second you start treating yourself like an option, she will too. A high-value man never waits. He moves. And in that movement, he creates the ultimate test. Will she step up and chase, or will she get left behind? The answer is always in what you do while she's away. 7. Signs. She's coming back. A lot of men don't recognize when a woman is trying to come back. Either they jump in too fast and kill the momentum, or they ignore the signs and let the opportunity slip away. Understanding these signals is the difference between making her chase or pushing her away again. When a woman pulls away, she's testing her feelings, figuring out whether she truly misses you or if she's better off without you. But if you handled the situation correctly, if you didn't beg, chase, or sit around waiting, she'll eventually feel the shift. And when she does, she starts looking for a way back in. One of the biggest signs is random excuses to talk to you. She might reach out with something small. Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you. Or, did you ever finish that project you were working on? It's not about the message itself. It's about the fact that she's finding reasons to reconnect. If she didn't care, she wouldn't bother. Another sign is sudden engagement with your life again. Maybe she starts watching your stories, liking your posts, or asking mutual friends about you. Women rarely make direct moves. They leave subtle hints to see if you'll pick up on them. If she's curious about what you're up to, it's because she's wondering if she still has a place in your life. Then there's the jealousy test. If she hears you've been doing well without her, hitting the gym, meeting new people, thriving in your own space, she might make comments like, "You seem different," or "I bet you're talking to someone else now." Women don't say this unless they feel some level of regret. She's trying to gauge whether she still has access to you or if she's already lost her chance. But here's where men fail. They take these signs and jump in too fast. The moment she shows interest again, they drop their self-respect and rush to give her all the attention she ignored before. That's the worst move you can make. The key is not to reward her too easily. If she wants back in, she has to earn it. A man who values himself doesn't just take her back, he makes her prove she's serious. So when she starts reaching out, don't rush. Keep living your life, stay on your path, and let her work for your attention. If she's truly interested, she won't just drop hints. She'll make it clear she wants another chance. Most men will never understand this, but the harsh truth is, a woman only values what she fears losing. If she was truly into you, your absence would have made her realize it. If she didn't come back, it means she never saw your worth in the first place. And that's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's the one thing that will set you free. Attraction isn't built through convincing, proving, or chasing. It's built through perception. And the moment she senses you're a man who won't sit around waiting, her entire dynamic with you changes. When you finally stop making her the center of your world, she either steps up or steps out, and either way, you win. Drop a comment below and tell me if you've ever experienced this shift. Have you ever had a woman come back after you pulled away? Or did she disappear, showing you she was never really interested? I'll be reading and responding because I want to hear your thoughts. Let's have this conversation. If you're looking to take a deeper dive into these concepts, join my Podia community. Link in the description. It's packed with powerful insights to help you master your masculinity in today's dating world. Stay strong, stay focused, and protect your power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.